All right, let's play a little bit of golf. Hall of Fame golfer Gary Player has 9 major championship titles. He's got over 150 professional wins during a career that spanned 5 decades. And now the Gary Player Foundation is closing in on having raised $65 million for children in need around the world. Joining us now to discuss his work on and off the course and all things golf is the Black Knight himself, Gary Player. Welcome to the program. So let's start with what brings you to town. Barenberg Gary Player invite on Monday up in Westchester. Tell us a little bit about that event.
Well, we have the Gary Player Invitational, which has taken place in many sectors of the world. China, where we built aid centers, South Africa, where we built schools, Berenberg Bank, and we've had SAP and Rolex, which you cannot do these days without sponsors, whatever it happens. And in London, it was fascinating. We walked down the road and I saw these people sleeping in the streets. And I said to the Berenberg folks, we've got to do something for these guys. To cut a long story short, we built a center with great facilities. People that are lying in the streets are now going to be doctors and lawyers as such. What a joy it is to be able to help. Golfers are very good at raising money for their respective charities, I must say.
Let's talk a little bit about the state of pro golf right now. I got to go to the Masters this year. I know, sorry.
No, you were sitting behind the 15th hole on Sunday.
It was amazing, yeah. I mean, I saw 2 holes in one.
Yes.
It was fantastic. It was great. But everybody that I was there with that had been before, they said, oh, this is the top, and now it's kind of all going to be downhill after this, because Tiger got back, but golf is sort of petering out.
No,
what do you think?
No, not at all. They've got so many wonderful junior programs all over the world. People in China, for example, are seeing a prize money of $1 million a week, first prize. Rory winning $15 million with the FedEx.
Crazy.
So it's more than the entire family tree's ever won. And one thing America, the greatest country in the world ever, has always created is incentive. When I hear people talking about socialism, I want to puke. I just can't believe it. You've been a country of great incentivism, and that's important. And this is what's existing in golf. And golf haven't scratched the surface yet. We're going to see things that we never saw in our life. And we, for example, who design golf courses, have done some shorter golf courses, like 12 holes. Family can go there, mother, father, daughter, and son, have a breakfast, play a few short holes. They've finished in an hour and a half, carry on with it. It's been time consuming. And young people today, we've got to get them off the streets, Jim, and off this thing in front of them night and day. A fit nation is a strong nation. What's my ambition in life now? To get rid of as much obesity that exists in this country, which is a tragedy to see this wonderful country. It's a poison. Your life doesn't exist very long. Being fat, and some of my family have been fat. They've changed, they're on a plant-based diet now, and they're doing so well. We've got to get people from being obese, because diabetes is like a fire in a field.
Mr. Player, you're very much an accomplished business owner, creating golf courses. What advice would you give to business owners out there today? They're dealing with so much. The buzzword on Wall Street is uncertainty. What advice would you give to them?
I don't profess to have a great business acumen at all, Brian. I just go to meetings occasionally and bring in common sense, things that I've learned through experience. You know, I've traveled more miles than any human being ever. These eyes have seen things that are so remarkable. Countries that were excelling and ended up through socialism absolutely gone. I mean, tragedies that I've seen. So I bring common sense. I don't bring great business strategy to the table.
Well, I love your 10 commandments on your site.
Pardon?
I love your 10 commandments on your
site. Oh, yes. No, that's great. And you know, one of my favorite ones is, Winston Churchill was, in my opinion, the greatest leader the world's ever seen. When you think you had a September 11, which is a tragedy, and I have 15 American grandchildren and 3 American children, so anything that happens to this great country affects me. But that happened in the war in England, with bombing day in and day out, and how Winston Churchill inspired people. And he said something about, that people that work hard and do well and are toiling upward in the night while his competitors were sleeping. And this is what America's done, and this is what the free enterprise system has taught us, to work hard and achieve things. And so, I've just enjoyed to be able to travel, read a lot of Winston Churchill's books, which are remarkable. His command of the English language was unreal, had a great sense of humor, but boy, was he arrogant. And he told Chamberlain, "You're an idiot. The Germans are coming to kill us. You're an idiot." The papers all said, "Oh, how can you do this? How can you do that?" But it's been a wonderful journey for me. I mean, I've dined with the very poor people in Africa and the very poor people in India. And I've played and been with all presidents of the United States for a long, long time, the emirs in the Middle East. But I learned a lot from the very poor people who were so humble and had a sense of gratitude.
I want to talk a little bit about your fitness and golf, and the trend began with you, right? You were the first professional golfer who thought about golf as a sport and wanted to work out and be fit for it. A lot of people now say, well, everyone on the course who's on tour is in that kind of shape. Do you still talk to guys who are out there on the tour about things they need to be doing, things they're doing wrong, things you think they might be able to change? Brooks Koepka gets a lot of press now for the size of his biceps.
Yeah. Well, when I started with weight training with a man called Frank Stranahan, whose father worked for Champion Sparkplugs, I was ridiculed and criticized, even by my two best friends, Arnold and Jack Nicklaus. Now they're sorry they didn't do it, because I'm 84, man. I've got this like a plank. And I still stand there and push 300 pounds with my legs.
Look at that.
And, I can still beat my age on an average of 10 shots or more.
Yeah.
And I've done that over 2,000 times in a row.
Right.
So you've got to stay fit. And the thing is that when I did weights, they said, "You crazy." There was one architect who said, "I wanted to beat Nicklaus to win the Grand Slam, and I was squatting with 325 pounds the night before." He said, "Gary Player will never win a tournament past 35. Well, I won a tournament at 63 on the tour.
That's right.
I sent him an SMS. I said, "I'm coming soon. Have a gymnasium, and of course it's in great shape." But we haven't scratched the surface of golf yet.
Yeah.
Bruce Koepka will be a short hitter in 30 years' time. They'll carry the ball by him. Some of these guys are hitting the ball 458 yards now. Wait until they come on tour.
Well, what do you think about the equipment, though? Because I think we've already seen, of course, like Augusta. It's already been tiger-proofed several times over, and it's still not long enough for these guys. Length is not the problem. Do you think that the equipment needs to change to keep some of these courses playable? I mean, St. Andrews is hardly playable for the best players now.
Well said. Well said. I mean, the home of golf. Well, first of all, I think they're two different games, even though people don't want to admit it.
My game and their game.
It's a difference.
Yeah.
So I believe you should have technology for all the amateurs and let them enjoy it. Don't take away the long putter for the amateur who has the yips. But we've got to slow the ball down, and all the superstars of golf are unanimous in that decision. Slow the ball down by 50 yards. But then you get these golf ball companies, some of them are quite arrogant. Yeah. They'll still sell the most balls, whatever happens, because they market it better than other people. Now, we have to do that. I don't know what's going to happen. Otherwise, they'll be hitting a drive and a wedge to all the par fives.
Yeah.
And we can't keep going longer. You know why? Water.
Right.
We're running out of water in the world, big time.
Yeah.
Secondly, it's fertilizer to the ground continuously. Then it's more labor, more machinery. And then you're building golf courses at the average lady. That will stop people wanting to play golf when they make their home courses too difficult. And everybody wants to do that. And leave your golf course as it is. It's perfect. Yeah. You don't have to go and change and spend all this money, get into financial problems, and then they have to close the course.
Well, and you've seen that happen with a lot of prominent courses here in the U.S. Pinehurst, perhaps most famously, taking a lot of the greenery out of that, making it browner.
Yes.
So you mentioned traveled more miles perhaps than anybody on earth, played a lot of golf. What's the favorite course you've played? And also maybe favorite course you haven't gotten to play. Is there one that you haven't played?
I don't know. I don't know if I did a research, probably, but I've had a feast. And Augusta is one of the best. Cypress Point, Pebble Beach, St. Andrews. Yeah. We built a golf course in South Africa called the Links, which is one of the 5 best I've played in the world. Not because I designed it, but it's a links that was built on an airport. And today you have these undulations. But that's the beautiful thing about golf courses for people that are against them. They create. I was coming in the driver in the car today, and I remarked that there's been one beautiful park built in New York. Now, in London, you've got 10.
Yeah.
Those people in the old days had the image and the vision to see. We need people to be able to get away from the hustle and the bustle. And so when you build a golf course, they're planting trees, you're fighting pollution, you're giving people a place to rest and enjoy themselves, walk and get exercise. So a golf course is more than just a golf course. It's comradeship, it's business that's done on a golf course,
right.
The exercise, the people you meet. And, as Winston Churchill said, the youth of a nation are the trustees of posterity. We got to think about the young people of this great country.
All right, Gary Player, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for talking to us. Berenberg Gary Player invite on Monday here in Westchester. And Brian Sozzi, have a great weekend. Thanks for sticking around.
I put myself through college by caddying for 13 years. I'm sitting next to Gary Player on Yahoo Finance Live. It's been a great week. It's been a great week.
Jen, we have as many women playing our events as men.
I'm ready. I'm gonna start working out, and
Okay.
Jen's got 2 young daughters that are going to start playing.
Yeah.
Great.
They went to golf camp.
Hey investors, Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.